When a remote viewer conducts a remote viewing session, the remote viewer is supposed to describe what is called a target. A target is a place or an event, some place and time, and the remote viewer always works under a condition called blind, meaning that the remote viewer has no prior knowledge of what this target is supposed to be. Here we have a picture of an aircraft carrier on the ocean with a nearby explosion. People new to remote viewing would think that the remote viewer conducting a remote viewing session should simply see it clearly and say, "Oh my goodness, there is a aircraft carrier with an explosion nearby, all taking place on the ocean." But that's not how remote viewing works. Remote viewing images are very foggy and fuzzy. Remote viewers perceive aspects of the target in what is called low-level terms. The word aircraft carrier is a high-level term. A remote viewer would describe this particular target as a structure, hard, man-made, metallic, water below, air above, nearby energetics. You see, a remote viewer collects a great deal of these types of low-level descriptions in order to describe a target adequately. Here we have a structure with land below, light colors on the top, white vertical lines near the bottom, land below, blue above, slanted surfaces on the top of the structure, some pointed things. Here we have another structure, tall, pointed, narrower at the top than at the base, man-made materials, a structure, land below, air above, metallic, somewhat transparent in the sense that it's not solid. These are the types of descriptions that a remote viewer could make. Also, the remote viewer might notice that there is foliage nearby. Here we have a metallic structure, air below, air above, movement, energetics, the idea or the concept of quick or rapid. We also have blue background. These types of descriptions, again, are low-level descriptions of the basic target. The remote viewer would not say, "Oh, I see this as a jet aircraft, one of the Blue Angels." That was a very high-level description. Here we have land sloping, cold on top, down below land is more level, air above, surface textures rough, perceptions of snow, ice on the sides, and then the remote viewer might put this all together and say, "This feels like a mountain." Again, the mountain is more high level than the other descriptions. Here we have a destroyer. Now the remote viewer would not simply say, "Oh, this is a destroyer firing a cannon." Rather, the remote viewer would say, "This is a structure, energetics, hot, heat, sound, loud, banging or booming, water below, structure is metallic, air above, smells of smoke, heat, temperatures are high, some cool." Those are low-level descriptions. Here we have a structure, metallic, not necessarily air, perhaps air, something below, no surfaces nearby, metallic, moving into it, it's circular, moving into the structure, lines, circular, technology, blue background, something very large and circular on the side. Here we have a subject, bulky clothing, white clothing, some metallic structure nearby, something above the subject, looks large and circular. Next to the subject is this metallic structure, white, very bulky clothing around the subject, subject gender may be perceived. Here we have structures, generally white. They feel stone, man-made structures, but natural materials. Land below, air above, warm temperatures, bright sunlight. Pointy structures, tall, narrow, pointy. One structure wide, vertical lines in the front, and more rectangular, things like that.